Bit of a dark and dreary day here at the Big A, but hey, the racing was hot. At least the sun was out for some time, and it was beginning to look a lot like Christmas. Well, not necessarily here in the Big A studios, but for Aqueduct Insider, it's Maggie, Wolfendale, and the one and only Richard Migliore. Mig, it was a bit chilly out there, but we enjoyed ourselves.
No, it was brisk, but like you said, the racing was hot. And a lot of the offices here at Belmont, maybe not our studio, are really getting in the Christmas spirit. A lot of decorations going up. Fun to watch everybody. I think everybody's anticipating this little vacation.
Yeah, we are looking forward to it, but we're always looking for our fans coming out, and we'll kind of go over those racing dates that we have towards the end of December. But out in Tucson, Arizona, it was the global symposium for racing and gaming the past 4 days, and a lot of news going on, a lot of ideas being thrown out there. And one of the major topics, Richie, was fantasy leagues kind of integrating themselves into horse racing, how we can get fans by doing that.
You know, I think it's a great idea, and I'm for any innovation that kind of lures people in that maybe haven't had an interest in racing yet. But I think the key to success in making fans, creating people that are going to come back to the races, is getting them close to the horses. I think when we're a little bit too abstract and it's just numbers and horses running on a screen, people don't capture the magic of racing. I think we get people closer to horses, we'll have them coming back.
Yeah, exactly. And one of the things to kind of reach out to people is through social media to get them to the races and get close to the horses. So a lot of ideas going around as far as apps on your iPhone and Android and iPad. So we'll see what comes out of the symposium. A lot of interesting ideas from around the world in regards to racing, but some closer to home racing, kind of, out in California. Take Charge Brandy is really looking to solidify her tiara, if you will, for the Eclipse Award for 2-year-old filly.
Well, for me, she needs to win the Starlet being run at Los Alamitos for the first time now that Hollywood Park is closed. Her Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies was terrific, but was it a one and out? But then she came back and won the Delta Princess, so that certainly strengthened her case. Now, if she comes back and wins the Starlet, to me, she's 2-year-old filly champion. But right now, Lady Eli's still leading the pack. I thought her win, albeit on the turf, was one of the most exciting victories by a 2-year-old filly I can remember in a long time.
But on the other hand, we won't see her until she's a 3-year-old again. And Take Charge Brandy, as many of these Lucas horses do, they just keep grinding it out.
Well, I think when a horse gets good, it's okay to run them. And obviously she got good, and I think they figured out something else about her. She doesn't want to get hit with the whip. I think if you go back and watch, Victor Espinoza hit her once turning for home, and you could see her whole demeanor. She tightened up and kind of slowed down, and then he loosened up on her and started showing her the stick. She took off running again. They rode her the same way in the Princess. Maybe all along she was a filly that didn't want to get hit with the whip, but wasn't showing it outwardly by swishing her tail or what have you.
Right, and the same connections of Will Take Charge, Willis Horton would take Charge Brandy as well. But now let's get close to home. This Saturday we have the Queens County Stakes, and Vijack, off of a disappointing-ish run in the Cigar Mile, will return for Rudy Rodriguez.
Yeah, and it was a disappointing run in the Cigar Mile. I'm not convinced that this is a horse that wants a mile and 1/8. He has won around 2 turns. He has won on the inner track. I think he's more comfortable around 1 turn and sprinting. But Rudy Rodriguez is his trainer, and I think he has a better handle on it than I do.
Yeah, he does, and you actually got first-hand word from Rudy Rodriguez this afternoon in regards to Vijack in the Queens County.
Rudy, you have Vijack in the Queens County, stretching back out to 1 mile and 1/8. How do you feel about the distance for him?
I don't think that this will be a problem, Richie. Yes, you know, this is going to be the last race for the year, so we want to put him away. So, you know, we was kind of disappointed the way he ran the other day. So we're just taking a chance.
What about the Cigar Mile? He didn't really run his race. Was there any reason for that?
You know, the track was against the speed buyers, and we tell Ira to chase him out of there and keep after him. And I guess, you know, probably he want to be sitting without chasing him, and he still run good. You know, the winner was very, very good, and we just got a run.
Well, can we look forward to seeing Vijack again next year, though? I
believe so. You know, the plan is to still making the decision to run him. I think we're going to run him, and then we're going to send him to Fair Hill for maybe like 4 weeks and try to get him back. Hopefully we can make some good racing next year.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Well, Rudy was a little bit of a hurry to get out of there with you, Richie. What'd you do to him?
I don't know. I was actually, I didn't even have a follow-up question. It was just thank you and good luck. And he thought it was funny, I guess, but actually it was good to catch up with Rudy. And I like Vijay as a racehorse. I'm just not convinced that he's a true two-turn horse. Now, company makes horses go further than they want to sometimes.
Yes, this is also true. But it was a speed bias the day of the Cigar Mile. It can't be ignored. But talk about the fact that Vijay gets to train here. Does that put a little more into the positive side with him in this race?
Oh, absolutely. I think anytime a horse gets to race over the surface they train on, it's always a benefit. And the fact that they only have to go from their stall, they don't have to get in a van, ship over from Belmont or even further away, is always an advantage. I just saw more of a brilliance in him when he goes one turn as opposed to two turns.
I can't argue with you there, but one race that did go two turns here today was today's second race. It was a maiden special weight for 3-year-olds and up. John and Brielle has a call.
Coach Inge away well. Chase the Love now moves up. So it's Chase the Love and Coach Inge heads apart for the lead. Ice Cutter is running in third. Looking Out for You is on the outside in fourth. But it's a gap of 2.5 lengths to Lagubar, followed by Nicholson, and the trailer is Point Hope in seventh. Coach Inge opens up here. Coach Inge in front, 2.5 lengths. Chase the Love giving chase in second as the field hits the backstretch. And the quarter was run in 23 seconds, and it is the favorite, Coach Inge, in front here, 2.5 lengths. Chase the Love in second by a half length. And on the outside is Looking Out for You in third by a neck. The gray Ice Cutter is fourth by 4. Lagubar is fifth. That's another 6 lengths. Back to the two trailers, Point Hope and Nicholson. The half, strong, 46 and 4/5 seconds. Coach Inge carving out those fractions and taking the field into the far turn. Coach Inge, 3/4 of a length. Chase the Love remains in second. Looking Out for You is on the outside and now gaining some ground. Ice Cutter is fourth, 3.5 from the front. Coach Inge down at the rail, Looking Out for You on the outside. Chase the Love is in between horses. Ice Cutter will take to the extreme outside. 3/4 in 1, 11 and 2. There in the stretch. Coach Inge. Here's Ice Cutter on the outside, moving into second. Then Chase the Love, Looking Out for You is tailed off. Coach Inge trying to hang in there for another furlong. It's Coach Inge. Here's Ice Cutter on the outside. Coach Inge and Ice Cutter, and the two of them are heads apart as they race down to the finish line. Coach Inge, Ice Cutter. Coach Inge won it, holding on by a head over Ice Cutter.
Gate to wire for your post-time favorite, Coach Inge. But, Meg, it was a race that was close, first of all, and also not without controversy.
No, and you give Coach Inge a lot of credit. He set some very fast fractions for a two-turn race, and he refused to be denied, albeit coming out into the eventual runner-up, the 4 Ice Cutter, who looked like he had him collared in mid-stretch. But maybe that little bit of brushing. I thought it was a good call to leave it up, but he definitely came out to him.
He did, and you kind of saw him as well, as you pointed out, as we'll take a look at the head-on. We saw Jose Ortiz take a look behind his shoulder and just kind of guide Coach Inge over to Ice Cutter.
Yeah, he did. He took a quick glance over his right shoulder. He came out to him. I thought it was minimal contact. They definitely brushed. He came out a little bit, not too much, just right as they came to the wire.
And you know, the Coach Inge, a horse with more experience, Ice Cutter only his first start on the main track, and that can kind of affect a horse, whether one has more experience and the inexperienced one's getting intimidated.
Well, and certainly, and obviously Coach Inge had a lot more foundation, this being, I believe, his 5th start, and the other horse is only 2nd start, and I thought he ran terrific, and actually I think our Aqueduct Insider picked that horse.
I did. Once again, a narrow defeat for me. But we turn the page and move on to today's 7th race, and that was another one that was narrowly decided. It's a starter allowance going the 2 turns. Johnny I with the call.
Groomed for victory, Marriage Fever. There goes Son of Dixie, and on the outside, Village Warrior. Son of Dixie looking to get that lead as they go into the clubhouse turn, and Son of Dixie has the lead. Village Warriors on the outside, groomed for victory down at the rail. Marriage Fever is running in fourth, now passed by Small Town Talk. Successful Brothers now moves up a spot, and Day's Ride is the trailer in seventh. They're on the backstretch now. Village Warrior to challenge Son of Dixie for the lead. Son of Dixie by ahead. Village Warrior right there in second. Small Town Talk in the clear on the outside in third. Groom for Victory is down at the rail and running in fourth. Then a Successful Brothers, Marriage Fever, and Day's Ride. The quarter went in 24 seconds. The half in 48-1. Son of Dixie, the long shot leader here. Son of Dixie by a neck. Village Warrior, the favorite, runs in second. Small Town Talk is next in third. Groom for Victory, Successful Brothers. Down at the rail is Day's Ride. Marriage Fever begins to pick it up and makes a wide move there on the turn. Marriage Fever is now up to third. Up front, it's Village Warrior and Son of Dixie. 3/4 in 1:12-3. They're in the stretch now. Village Warrior, Son of Dixie, Marriage Fever on the outside. 3 of them across the track. Groom for Victory is fourth as they pass the 8th pole. Marriage Fever and Village Warrior, nothing between them. Son of Dixie is now back running in third. Marriage Fever on the outside. Village Warrior towards the rail. They come for the finish line. Look like Marriage Fever got it. It'll be a photo.
Well, a bit of deja vu going on with the 7th race, comparatively with the 2nd. Same connections, but the top Fletcher horse was on the wrong end of this table.
Yeah, Village Warrior, Jose Ortiz again, comes out to kind of make his horse join the 3-horse Marriage Fever, the eventual winner, owned and trained by David Jacobson. Angel Cruz looks good finishing on a horse for an apprentice, and you could see this horse's ears, Maggie.
Yeah.
As soon as he hit the front, he started pulling up. His ears went forward, and he was basically done. And we watched the head-on. There was also an inquiry into this race. We're going to see that there was some contact, but I thought more initiated from the inside.
Yeah, exactly. The Village Warrior comes out to Marriage Fever, and, you know, Marriage Fever kind of gets idling and kind of lost when he hits the front, and I don't think it was more Angel Cruz's fault than the horse himself.
Oh, absolutely. You can see he kind of cocked his head, and he's kind of looking around, and he's oblivious to the horse next to him at this point. But I thought the stewards made the right decisions in both calls to leave it alone. There was incidental contact. There was some brushing. I don't think it really affected, especially in this case, the outcome. And Marriage Fever is an interesting horse because when he hits the front, he pulls up hard like that. When I was riding, I used to love to put horses like that on the lead right from the gate, because then every time something got close to them, they'd go on. Yeah,
exactly. The horses that kind of run scared, if you will. They don't want to be in the front, but they don't want anything chasing them, so they just keep running.
Yeah, they run scared, and plus they don't get rank. You can chase them hard for an eighth of a mile. As soon as you put your hands down, they float.
Yeah, one of those interesting rides. But we got to take a ride to a commercial break. The first one on this Aqueduct Insider. On the flip side, we'll be checking out race number 8, so stay tuned. Welcome back to Aqueduct Insider. We are tucked in, away from that kind of nasty looking weather from outside, on the second floor studios here at the Big A. Maggie Wolfendale, Richard Migliore for this edition of Insider on MSG+. And Mig, we're going to jump right back into the racing action. Race number 8 in here. It was an allowance, other than going the mile and 1/16th distance. And Johnny I once again has the call of the feature.
Xander's Own, Classic Sense, Celebrated Talent. Celebrated Talent takes a narrow lead over Xander's Own with Classic Sense right behind in third. Lieutenant Shawnee O is down at the rail. It's a headstrong Giant Fox who's forced Diker Beach wide into that clubhouse turn. Xander's Own with the lead here by a half length. Celebrated Talent on the outside in second. Lieutenant Shawnee O down at the rail in third. Classic Sense in between horses. Giant Fox is on the outside, and it's 2.5 lengths to Diker Beach, who trails. The field heads up the backstretch. Xander's Own by ahead. Celebrated Talent pressing that pace in second. Then it's a break of 2. Lieutenant Shawnee O and Classic Sense right together, third and fourth. It's another 4 lengths now. Back to the 2 trailers, Diker Beach and Giant Fox. The quarter, 24 seconds. The half mile in 48 seconds. And it's Xander's Own, challenged here by Celebrated Talent. Classic Sense makes his move on the outside. Celebrated Talent, Classic Sense. Now they're 1-2 as Anderson drops back. Lieutenant Shawnee O. Farther back, Diker Beach and Giant Fox. They're coming for the head of the stretch. Celebrated Talent and Classic Sense. 3/4 in 1-12-1. Nothing between these two with 3/16 to the wire. Classic Sense on the outside. Celebrated Talent at the rail. And Lieutenant Shawnee O in with a chance and coming on the outside. It's Classic Sense, Celebrated Talent, Lieutenant Shawnee O on the outside. Classic Sense with the lead. Lieutenant Shawnee O into second. Classic Sense wins it. Lieutenant Shawnee O, longest shot on the board, finished second.
Well, your second choice, Classic Sense, gets the win, but let's admit, 20-1 outsider in here, Lieutenant Shawnee O, Mig, made it pretty interesting.
He did. It looked like mid-stretch he might actually have Classic Sense in his sight, might gun him down. Classic Sense, I think, found a little more. Lieutenant Shawnee O might have hung a little bit, but at 20-1, he certainly gave you your money's worth.
Yeah, he did. He gave you a thrill and probably a big gas for a lot of the sequential players in the pick 6 and pick 4. So it was hit, though, the pick 6, but some races that were sandwiched in between in that sequence. Well, we'll get to them next here as we take a look at races 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 9.
Mischief now, who responds? Solly's Mischief grabs a narrow lead. Street Swag battles on down at the rail. So it's Solly's Mischief and Street Swag, and they're going to battle it out right to the wire. Street Swag looking to come back again on the inside of Solly's Mischief. It's a photo finish. Did Street Swag get there? To Radiant Cut, then Wisdom of Oz and Poor Vu. Casual Elegance cuts the corner and has the lead here by 2.5 lengths. My One Love is up to second. Betty Bing Bing is back running in third. Here's My One Love up now to take over the lead. Less than a 16th of the wire. My One Love in front. Casual Elegance is second. And they'll be 1-2 under the line. My One Love drew away at the end. One by Field is at the top of the stretch. Lightning Lily is the one to catch. She's been in front right from the start. Continues to lead here by 6. Cool Charlie is giving chase in second. On the outside is Sister Charm putting in a late run, but it is Lightning Lily with the lead coming down for the 16th pole. Lightning Lily by 4. Then Cool Charlie and Sister Charm. They are getting closer to Lightning Lily, but the wire is coming. Lightning Lily holds on. 3/4 of a length. Cool Charlie. It's a cigar is just a cigar and Slim Shady at the top of the stretch. Half mile in 46 and 4/5 seconds. Here's Sandcat now to take the lead from Domer. Sandcat in front by 2. Domer. Celtic Fighter, 2:17. A cigar is just a cigar, putting in a late run on the extreme outside. But in the meantime, Sandcat has drawn clear. And it will be Sandcat, a 2.5 length winner. Celtic Fighter came on to get second. It's a photo for third. Rosa Carina in front as the field heads for home. Rosa Carina with a 3-length lead. Coral Beach, Ozone, Your Turn, all giving chase. Rosa Carina still there in front by 2. Coral Beach is second. Coming down for the 16th pole, it's Rosa Carina with the lead. Coral Beach giving chase, but she's not going to catch this long shot winner. Rosa Carina at 17-1. Coral Beach was second. And a photo for third between the stretch, the half, and 46-1. Billy pays the bills up now to take the lead. Ireland's Eye is gaining ground on the outside. Billy pays the bills. Ireland's Eye, Lightning Rod making a move down towards the rail. Here is Ireland's Eye to take over in deep stretch, and the odds-on favorite will win going away at the end. Billy Pays the Bills held second. Lightning Ron was third, and Officer Mahaffey finished fourth.
And once again, we had a lot of young riders taking a lot of races on this Thursday card, and none other than our apprentice rider here, Israel Rodriguez, only 19 years old, native of Puerto Rico. We'll check out his first race win here once again with Street Swagger, and talk about what you see from this guy.
I think he finishes so strong for an apprentice rider. He looks like he's beaten here. He comes back on the rail. I like when he goes back to his hand ride. I think this is when he really shows his strength. And like you said, so many good young riders. Here he is with him and Manny Franco battling it out to the wire. And certainly that 5-pound apprentice allowance helps when you win by a nose. And you think about Dylan Davis, he won a race today. I think the average age of the entire jockey colony right now, with the absence of Cornelio Velasquez being injured, Mike Luzzi, and Junior Alvarado coming back from injury, is about 23 years old. And they're really talented, hungry young guys.
Yeah, they are. And what I noticed about Israel is his physicality lends itself well to be a jockey.
Absolutely. He finishes well. He's got the right build. He's got a right seat. We've seen a lot of these kids come out of Puerto Rico that are very polished already. Obviously, the Ortiz brothers, Manny Franco, come to mind. And then you got Angel Cruz, who I think rides a terrific race also, who was very successful in Maryland before coming here. It's a lot of fun, and we're very privileged to have this much young talent.
Yeah, it's really going to be interesting to see who these apprentice riders go on to be after they lose their apprenticeship. So things to look forward to as always. But right now, we have to check in with the Frost Giant New York bred standout of the day. And Frost Giant, one of our favorite stallions here running or having his progeny run on the New York circuit. But a son of the Wildcat here today, Sandcat, with a dominant performance in this non-2 for 25.
Yeah, Sandcat put it all together today. Got a terrific ride from Angel Arroyo, got his position. He's a horse that, to me, never runs the turns really well, so when he was still in contention turning for home, he kicked on, and there is Frost Giant. Those all kinds of horses, Maggie. They run long, short, turf, or dirt, and seem to get better as they get older.
Yeah, they do seem to do that. Some have speed, and he throws horses that have all kinds of different running styles, which is also exciting to watch. But if you're interested in breeding too, Frost Giant, contact Eric Bishop from Sunrise Stallions. His contact info there. That 2015 breeding season is right around the corner. But also on this edition of Aqueduct Insider, check out jock standings. And Manny Franco does seem to hold a firm lead. Oh, whoops, I spoke too early. I was looking at standings a couple days ago, and he was up by 4 on everybody. But Jose lighting it up the last couple days. And Angel Cruz, I mean, that's really exciting for a guy to come up here to New York for the first time to be that close to the top.
Oh, absolutely. Jose Ortiz is really heated up. Manny Franco got off to a great start. Angel Cruz, Israel Rodriguez. Angel Royal's been a very welcome addition. So it's fun to see. And again, a bunch of young guys, and they're going to have a lot of fun battling it out all through this cold winter.
Well, we're into the inner track far enough so we can have some trainer standings. David Jacobson, no surprise there, leads all trainers. Gary Contessa. Tom Albatrani has one heck of a percentage for this Aqueduct Inner meet so far.
Yeah, everything he's run, he's made it count for sure.
That is absolutely correct. Keeping a low number of horses here, but some people who picked up new horses. Today's Claim Sally's Mischief. Abby back in the claim box. She picks up one Street Swag. Shake on him.
Yeah, and well, also Drawing Away stable taking horses with Abigail Adsit, Street Swag, a shake there. Jeremiah Englehart, Betty Bing Bing came from the West Coast. Roddy Valenti got claimed by Glenn DeSanto.
And Domer, Gary Contessa, picks up a new one for him. And we got a run and coming down the lane on this final segment around the corner from Aqueduct Insider. And we're gearing up for the holidays here at the Big A. We are actually open this coming Monday, December 16th, and then we take a bit of a break. So we're off from the 17th to the 25th, but we'll be back right after Christmas Day. And also, as always, we're open New Year's Eve and New Year's Eve Day. Welcome back to Aqueduct Insider. Maggie Wolfendale, Richard Migliore here. This last and final turn for the evening. We're going to preview some races for tomorrow's card. Friday, we'll start with race number 4 here, Meg, and some interesting New York bred 2-year-old maidens. Mike Hushin, always dangerous. He sends out second-time starting Global Positioning.
Yeah, gets a change of equipment, blinkers on, breaks from the rail, not an ideal position because the 6 furlongs is a little bit of a shoot on the inner track, a lot of empty space to the inside for young horses. But he ran on resolutely in his debut, and he would imagine from the inside and with blinkers on, he's going to get more forward position.
Exactly. Well, one that he will have to beat out of the gates is the 3rd time starting Andrew's Got Zip, who just got ran down last time out. He's also in this race with Summer Hawk as well.
Ran really well, was involved the entire way, shook off the other speed, drew clear into the stretch. and got nipped late. Now, the fractions were pretty slow. The final time was pretty slow. But if I remember correctly, that day wasn't producing very fast times. And I really believe if he had seen the outside horse, he would have had a little more response. Would have made it a little bit closer anyway.
Yeah, and Summerhawk running on to be third there with a nice belated run. Then finally, David Rocks. We'll check out his first start of his career back at Belmont. He showed a lot of precociousness and early speed in that debut. Last time, not quite the same thing.
Not quite as much. He was shipping, obviously, from ran at Belmont, ran back at Aqueduct, but he gets blinkers on, and I honestly think he might possess the most natural speed, particularly with the blinkers. But this is an interesting race to me, Maggie, because I really believe in horses that have experience on the inner track, and nobody in this race has ever run on the inner track. And I think it could produce a crazy result because you're going to get some horses that are going to really relish it and some that aren't. And to me, that makes it more of a puzzle.
Right, exactly. We're going to have horses jumping up and some regressing, though we'll check out ones that have a little more form to go on and race number 8, and it's an allowance race here. We'll check out Irish Sweepstakes on a day that the last 3 races, Mig, it was a gold rail and speed favoring.
Yeah, and he is 1 for 1 on the inner track, and he's kind of got that one-run closing style, albeit he was further back than normal last time. He does seem to have the ability to get some position, and I think he's very much the horse to beat and will be closing.
And coming off of a bit of a break is number 9, Sustainable in here. She hasn't been out in 7 months here for Kieran McLaughlin. She's one that has experience over this inner track, as we'll check her out finishing 2nd back in the springtime.
Yeah, and you know, the layoff doesn't scare me from Kieran McLaughlin's barn. They seem to be pretty well prepared. She's a filly that has a lot of back class to me, and she's also successful on the inner track. I think she'll probably be pretty favorably placed. She's not going to get that 21-4 that she got in the Jersey Girl. She should be involved early.
Yeah, exactly. A promising filly, I thought, at the beginning of last year. Now we're checking out Atlantic Spow. This is her last race, Meg, where, to me, she seemed to do her best running on the lead.
Yeah, and I don't know that she's fast enough, but she's going to have to work hard to make the lead here, and I think she's going to have a little bit of trouble clearing from the outside. Exactly.
Unfortunate post for her, for Charlie Baker, who is on a very good run himself. So a lot of good racing to look forward to on tomorrow's card, but we are out of time here tonight on this Thursday edition of Aqueduct Insider. We want to wish everybody a good night. Richard Migliore and Maggie Wolfendale signing off.